Welcome everybody, this is an introductional video for my website Inner Self Defence. I'd like to start off by saying all of these videos and the website I've put out for you guys completely for free. I'm really not trying to take any money off you or get likes, followers or a million YouTube hits. I just decided I wanted to help any of you that are looking for a slightly different perspective on the subject. As you know, there's lots of different martial arts, there's lots of different self-defence systems, and obviously you've got people on YouTube and online teaching self-defence techniques now as well. So finding a system that's right for you can be quite a challenge. If you are serious about self-defence, I want to see that you spend your time wisely. So you really should be, learning about awareness and avoidance. Any good instructor will say to you awareness and avoidance are the key things, and they're absolutely right. But very few of them do that much to actually teach it to you. They say, awareness and avoidance, and then you're off learning lots of different techniques. So I've built that site. It's just packed full of information that I've learned from different people and from my own experiences, just to help educate you on awareness and avoidance. So hopefully, if you get good at that, you'll never get in a physical situation. But I do appreciate that most of you will want to know what to do if you do find yourself facing a potentially violent person. Sometimes we can just have wrong place, wrong time. So the thing is, guys, there is no foolproof system. But the reason I've built this site and done these videos is I do generally feel that there's a lot of information, certainly on YouTube, that might be luring you into a bit of a false sense of security. I'm not going to stand here and say that it doesn't work, but what I'm saying to you is, because your life's potentially on the line, are you prepared to find out if it doesn't? So for that reason, what I'm encouraging you to do, if you cannot escape a situation, avoid it, or talk it down, you need to be able to put your fence up, which is your way of controlling this range, and you need to learn to be preemptive. I'd much rather see you master a preemptive strike. And it doesn't matter, anyone can learn this. Anyone can learn to hit hard. It's not about being a fighter. A good preemptive strike should see you out of most situations if you're prepared to use it. Can't we talk about this? I want you to be so ferocious with one shot that should be all you need. Then you can run away. Anything else you learn underneath that will be your support system. I would encourage you to look at the other ranges. Some people want to throw more time at self-defence than others. If you are just spending 1 hour or 2 hours a week, learn to hit hard, and learn to hit hard from this range. You don't have to join a club. You can get yourself a partner, you can get yourself one of these, or get yourself a bag. I don't care, honestly, if you're a 7-stone female. If you can drop body weight on someone without them knowing it, it will have an effect, and it will give you a chance to escape. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. As I said, it takes a little bit of work. It's not just about, doing this once or twice. It's about doing thousands of repetitions so that your fence and your preemptive strike are instinct. If someone comes into your personal space, stay back, stay where you are. And if I can't control him, if he's still being aggressive, pushing my hands out the way, or worse still, if he's got his hand in his pocket or behind his back, take him off the planet. But I'm not changing position. I'm dropping that body weight on him without a warm-up. Because remember, guys, you won't have one. That's the thing. There's no point warming up to learn your moves. You're not going to have a warm-up. Street attacks are fast, terrifying and violent. And most people are out the fight before they know they're in it. And I speak from experience. That has happened to me. So you need to turn that back on your attacker. Take him out of the fight before he knows he's in it. If you can't talk him down, ask him a question. Can't we talk about this? And then let out your most ferocious strike. But I'm not going in a guarded position. If you go in a guarded position and you're not a fighter, and he is, you're going to get battered. So you've got to use the element of surprise. And believe you me, if you don't do that to him, that's what he's going to do to you. I've known some good fighters in the ring be taken out in the street, because this is how these people work. And sometimes you'll be dealing with this guy, and his mate will come around the side and hit you over the head with a glass. That's happened to me. So you've got to drop to their level a little bit. Not go and start kicking him on the floor once you've hit him. I'm encouraging you to be able to master a preemptive strike and then run to safety. I don't care who you are, male, female, young or old. If you feel threatened, hit and run. So what are we trying to say then? but from where he least expects it. And the good thing is most people ignore this range for striking. You know, they're quick to get into a grapple. You know, that's the last place I'd want to be, in the street. And the simple reason is, even if you're a good grappler, it puts you in a much more vulnerable position. You know, his mates could come and start kicking you in the head. It happens, I've seen it happen, and it's actually happened to me. You know, you really don't want to be there. The only time I want to touch this guy is that connection. Can't we talk about this? Be so ferocious with one shot. I'd much rather see you do that thousands of times so that it becomes instinct. Some of you will do that already. You know, I know some people that would just do that and they don't even train for it because they just protect their personal space. But most of you will have to train yourself to do that. And that's simply because we're taught, aren't we, to defend and then attack if you're in a physical situation. But in my opinion, guys, it's not going to happen. Forget it. You know, all these moves I see about defending against this or that, unless you're very, very lucky, it's not going to work for you. That's why I'm encouraging you to hit first. But please don't think I want to hit anyone. That's the last thing I want to do. I would much rather have you not be here in the first place. If I can talk a situation down from here, I will do, you know? I've talked situations down from here before. You know, it can be done. But if I feel threatened, you know, you need to have this in place that you're going to hit first. And it's going to take some work in most of you. You know, I know some of you might think, oh, I'll do that anyway. Believe you me, when you've got fear, you know, added to that as well, you're going to struggle with that, you know? So be honest with yourselves. And then if you are going to struggle with that, you have to train yourself to do it. And women as well. You know, I see women on some courses and they're hitting like this. You need to hit like your life depends on it. Because if it ever happens for real, you need to know it's there. And it's not about you being an aggressive person, completely opposite. You're just doing it so you know it's there if you ever have to use it. And hopefully you won't. That's what I'm trying to get at. You have to make this instinct. Stay back, stay where you are. Can't we talk about this? Instinct, that if you can't talk it down, you hit first. I really, you know, again, it's your choice. It is a big choice. I appreciate that. But I just generally feel a lot of this stuff that people are learning, it's just not going to work. And I say that because it didn't work for me. You know, these attacks are so quick. You have to turn it back on your attacker. There are other things you can do from here. You know, I'm not saying that you have to hit everyone in the head like that, but I would honestly go for unconsciousness because that's your best bet to safety. You know, I've seen some people try and restrain, but on the same breath, I've seen 4 or 5 police officers try and restrain one guy. So even if you do manage to restrain him, you know, what are you going to do then? So again, it is a big choice. I do appreciate that, okay? And I'm not saying it's the answer. It's just you need to make that choice whether you want to be the hammer or the anvil. Because in my experience, if you don't do that to him, you will be the one being kicked around the floor. It's going to be very difficult to block from here. You know, you could shove him back and, you know, get aggressive, and I'll go through that as well. But I'm mainly aiming for you non-fighters, you know. Learn to hit and run. That's my advice. That's what I learned, and I promised I would go back into the world and teach that too, you know. And that's what I'm doing with this site and these videos. Teach yourself to be a ferocious striker and make it instinct. Do thousands and thousands of repetitions. But I'm not changing position, and I'm not going from a fighting stance. I'm going from a very passive, unassuming position where I'm trying to talk the situation down. And if you do come under instant attack, this kind of striking will help you, if you're lucky enough to still be conscious, to go back in being more ferocious than your attacker. That's the only way you're going to see yourself out of it, if you're lucky enough to do so, especially if you're dealing with multiples. Okay, I hope you find the information useful, and as I said, I sincerely doing this from the bottom of my heart. I'm really not trying to take anything from you. You know, I just want to help educate people so that they've got a choice. You know, I'm not going to stand here and say, oh, I'm right. Far from it. I just want you to decide what you're going to do. But I wouldn't count on blocking, you know, some of these moves I see people teaching. I just wouldn't count on that, and I'm not prepared to see if it doesn't work. Does that make sense? That's why I've done this for you guys. I hope you find it useful, and as I said, all the drills on the site will help you to, you know, get that ferocious power from this range. As I said, it's not just about power, it's about accuracy. It's all on there, and I'm going to help you to do that. As I said, it doesn't matter what shape you're in, as long as you can stand, you know, anyone can learn to hit, you know, and that's my advice, especially, you know, females as well. Learn to hit hard, hit and run. If someone jumps out on you when you're out for a run, hit and run, honestly. And again, you know, some people will think I'm being over the top, but do you want to find out? That's where I'm trying to go with this. Okay? Thanks for watching, but please, honestly, educate yourself on awareness and avoidance, and hopefully you'll never have to do any of this. And again, even though I don't do my martial arts anymore, my ethics are still the same. I train like this, so I don't have to use it. It's a very, very different kind of training. You can add it to your martial arts or you can replace it. But I think your main artillery needs to be a fence and a preemptive strike. Anything else you learn underneath that, good on you. But I wouldn't rely on it if the situation is very volatile. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you like the videos. And as again, if you do find this useful or you think it will help anyone you know, please do spread it, honestly. You know, I promised Jeff that I would spread this information, so that's what I'm trying to do here. So, you know, please do share it if you think it's useful. Thanks for watching, guys, and maybe see you again soon. Thank you.